Hi, I'm Macca,
I'm Lucas.
and today we're at the Fossil Preparation Laboratory at the Australian Age of Dinosaurs Museum of Natural History, and we're going to be talking about hydrocal cradling. So with us today on this little table here, I have a toe. So this is from one of our sites that we excavated in 2006, and what you will notice about this specimen is that it's quite fragmented. And so it took one of our honorary technicians quite a few months to actually puzzle this back together piece by piece. And even though it's glued together now, we want to make sure that this specimen is going to be safe for the next, not just maybe couple years, but for the next 70 years. And the way that we do that in long-term storage in museum collections, in this case, is through something called cradling. And so what I have here is a hydrocal cradle that's been sort of getting to the last stages of its completed process. And Lucas today is going to talk to us about the actual process to take it from just a toe without a cradle to it actually having a beautiful, unique cradle that's going to keep it safe for generations to come. Lucas.
Yeah. So once the hard work's done and you've put a fossil back together, we've got to get ready to put hydrocal on it. And it can be a bit of a messy process because you're dealing with a liquid and also glass fibre. So the first thing we've got to do is make sure the fossil is nice and safe as well as ourselves. So obviously PPE, but it's actually wrapped the fossil in a bit of foam, just like this. So this is form fitted with some heat to the fossil. It sits on it just like that, which then we actually wrap it up with some plastic, in bag usually, because that separates our fossil and our foam from the liquid, I guess polymer is what it's technically called, which is our hydrocal. The next step that we actually do is we wrap some fiberglass sheet on it. So this is just woven fiberglass. It's glass, so it is dangerous stuff to inhale or get on yourself. So we put dust masks on, glasses and so on. But then we wrap it up in this fabric pretty much. We put on our polymer. It's liquid, so it paint it on pretty much like paint. But after we've soaked it in a few layers of this and a few layers of our hydrocal, we just let it set after wrapping it up and pressurizing it, or more so just holding it down with some sandbags, just like these ones here underneath our specimen. And that means after about a day after it's set and cured, we then have a stiff cradle just like this, which will fit straight over the top. And then when you flip it over with a fossil in it, it will support that fossil through the entire thing. That's our cradle. After you've got this kind of rough outline, is to trim it. So at this point, we've got to decide if we want a bit of a lip on it or not. If we do want a lip to flip the thing over with a clamshell type cradle, we'll just cut a couple centimetres wider than the fossil. If we don't want that, if this thing is going to be displayed in the collection room or even behind us in the lab, we want it to look a little bit prettier than a wide clamshell. We'll just trim it right next to the fossil there, obviously away from the fossil when we do it. And then we'll smooth it out with a kind of a flappy disc or a sanding disc on an angle grinder, obviously with PPE on again, not nice stuff. And then we'll just paint it black, make it look a bit nicer, glue that foam layer into the hydrocal, and then it pretty much be ready to be stored or displayed wherever we need it.
And that's hydrocaling and long-term conservation solutions here at Australian Age of Dinosaurs.